Hello everyone, welcome to my spoiler talk for Venom. Very excited about this spoiler talk because I was very happy. I was very entertained, that's a better word, by this movie, if I'm being honest here. I mean, this movie is just crazy. Let's call it that, okay? Because I said in my main review that this was, this reminded me of the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man game. And it totally does. Because in that game, he's silly. And here, it's also silly. Now, when Eddie Brock isn't on screen, however, the movie does kind of fall apart. But not enough for me to really just... I mean, the fact that Eddie is like, I had one of those things up my ass. And then, you know, Riot just comes out and is like, where is he? And he's like, oh, God, it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Oh, he has one of those things up his ass, too. I just thought that was funny. Come on, you can't tell me that that is not 100% peak entertainment. Or, as I said in my spoiler-free review, where he goes to that fish tank and just eats the lobster. Like that whole dinner, like that fancy restaurant scene. It starts off with being all fancy, and then Eddie just walks in, and it's just like, it's an insane person eating everything, jumping in. It is so entertaining. That is what I mean. Like, Venom and Eddie are really entertaining. However, everything else is super generic. However, I never thought that I would say this, but I am absolutely sexually attracted to She-Venom. And she's bald? My goodness. I thought it was actually cool that She-Venom was in. Like, when I first saw this movie, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is an entertaining movie. Tom Hardy's doing his best to make this movie work, and overall, he actually succeeds. But then I saw She-Venom. And then I saw She-Venom, and I was like, oh my god, what? Because I didn't expect that. So I look up on my, like, after the movie, I look it up online. It's like She-Venom was actually a thing. I was like, oh my god, that's actually pretty cool. That they just did that as a cutaway instead of making Venom be replaced by a woman or something like that. No, they just do that as a cutaway gag, and it's like, cool. That's great. Now, who wanted to kiss Eddie, though? That is the real question that we have here. Who wants to kiss Eddie? Was it Venom? Or was it Anne? Because while we all know that it's Anne, I kind of also believe that it was Venom who wanted to do that too. And I've heard also complaints about, like, the ending, the end fight, where you can't really see much. And I agree with that one. To an extent. Now, when they are fighting, I can see stuff. But, like, at the end of that fight, they turn into water. It's just like, okay, now I get where the complaints come from. Because, like, when there are two CGI beings fighting, people always complain. Like, oh, I can't see anything. You know, like in the Transformers movies, for example. It's like, I can't see anything. When I'm just like, I can see it perfectly fine. But now, with that whole water thing, I thought it was fine. Also, let's talk about Venom and Riot immediately. Because their places should have been switched. Because, like, Riot wants to get to the Life Institute, or whatever the company was called, which I don't remember, the generic company, evil bad guy company. But he wants to get there, and Venom wants out. If Venom was already out and Riot was in there, it would have worked better because they could have made a better storyline. Instead of having this, like, this one needs to go here, and this one needs to go here, and instead of just, you know... They could have reworked that. That is what I'm saying. To potentially make a way better movie. I also like how in this movie, because after playing Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, not 4, but on the PlayStation 5 with Venom not being weak to fire, which, you know, a little bit of an issue with me because, like, but he's weak to fire though. In this movie, they make it apparent, no, noise and fire, those are Venom's weakness. And it does look like, you know, they do one of those at the end, like, oh my god, Venom is going to die kind of thing. When we all know he's not going to die. And I also like how at the end of this movie, they just have Eddie interview Cletus Cassidy to set up Carnage. Because I know, like, a lot of people were, like, upset about the fact that this movie didn't feature Carnage. I will say, I completely understand. Because Carnage would not have been done justice in this movie. Now, there's a debate to be had about the fact that whether he was done justice or not in the second movie. We'll get there next week. But, like, in this movie, he wouldn't have been, like, all that... Also, he wouldn't have been all that developed in that sense. Or would have been that great because he would have just been a bad guy fight for the final fight. That's what he would have been like. Also, I just wanted to say something. I have the box here for Venom Let There Be Carnage because that's the next movie I'm gonna review. And it says on it that it's like the French version, but it says, like, 16+. Now, I also have the Venom, the first Venom movie on Blu-ray, and that one says 15 years and older. And I like how people say, oh, but why is there no blood? I mean, Deadpool can do blood. Why didn't they just make this R rating? Here in the Netherlands, Venom and Deadpool have the same rating. I just thought that was funny. Where it's like Venom, like Deadpool, like he cuts someone's heads off, blood is everywhere. And in Venom, there's barely any blood, if any at all. But they have the same rating. I just thought that was funny. I am also happy that they did not go with a big villain plot. They just have like, hey, you know what's gonna happen in Venom The Last Dance? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have a symbiote invasion and call it a day. And then Venom is like, yeah, how about no? Even though Venom, I also like how Venom is a loser and Eddie is a loser. I would also like to say that, look, I'm jumbling all over the place. This is spoiler. This is why I do spoiler talks, so that the video, the review, can be more focused, while the spoiler talk, I can go all over the place and not really focus all that much. And it's not really a spoiler review, it's more just a spoiler talk, and I'm doing that so that people know that there are going to be spoilers in this. For the 2 people who have not yet watched Venom and want to see Venom, I like to think of the little people. But I like how they both make Venom and Eddie a loser instead of this like really cool guy. Venom is just like, yeah, I was a loser on my homeworld as well. This is great. And Venom in the beginning is all up about like Riot's plan. He's like, yeah, let's ruin this planet. Let's go. And then afterwards, at the end of the movie, he's like, well, you actually did teach me something. You taught me that this planet can be beautiful. And you know what? We don't really have to kill everyone. We don't have to take everyone over. Maybe a symbiote invasion just isn't a good thing. However, I did like that ending talk where it's like, you can only kill people who are bad guys. How do you tell if someone is a bad guy or not? Well, you just have to guess. But your intuition will be able to figure it out, okay? And then after that, you have the guy who comes back to Mrs. Chang and is like, bad guy, yep. And then you just kill him like a turd in the wind. Come on, that line is never not gonna be funny. It is so ridiculous, but it's so funny. But that's about all I really have to say, because I feel like I have a lot more to talk about the next movie, because in the next movie we have Venom and Carnage together. So I'm gonna end it with this one. This was like a 6-minute spoiler talk. Sorry, I don't really have much to say, but I don't really know anything about Riot or if they did him justice compared to his comic book counterpart. He's just a gray version of Carnage. And that's basically what he is. Well, without the whole, insanity that Carnage has, no. But, like, the moves that he uses against Venom are, a lot of that stuff is kind of like where, how in animation you've seen, or in comic books, toys, whatever, you've seen Carnage use those exact moves. Like the blade arms, it's like that is what Carnage does. I also like how there's a ranking system where it's like, like he has moves you have never seen. It's like, alright, he is stronger than Venom, but Venom has to outsmart him. He doesn't just get to beat the bad guy. It's like the bad guy thinks that Eddie is dead, goes into the rocket, launches himself up to space. Venom jumps up on the rocket and blows it up. And it's like, yeah. But if they actually kept fighting, Venom would have lost. So I like that smart thinking. I also love, before I forget, how useful Anne is during the final fight. With the fact that she just pushes, like, it's a simple thing. She just pushes a button and then the Sonic happens. But I love that, she actually partakes in the final battle, technically. She can handle ugly. But I will call it a day here. So thank you all so very much for watching. And I do hope you guys have enjoyed. And now you can spoiler talk your way throughout this thing. What did you guys think about this movie? Comment it all down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about Venom. But with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching. And I do hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new or if you've not done so already, turn on notifications, don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next week for Venom Let There Be Carnage. Bye!